Hey, it's Dr. G. And whether you've been a longtime listener or you're new to the podcast, welcome. Have you ever felt like you wanted to start over or reinvent your life? If so, I want to invite you to tell me all about it. I really need your advice. And to reward you for your time, I'm going to be choosing 9 listeners to join me on a free one-on-one relaunch game plan call. This call is designed to help you get clear on your specific goals so you can relaunch your life. To join in and be eligible for the free call, go to discover.drgordon.me. That's discover.drgordon.me and answer all the questions. I look forward to reading your responses and talking to you soon. Thanks for your help, and thanks for launching your life with me. Hello, and welcome to the Launch Your Life podcast, the only mindset podcast that provides weekly actionable insights for lasting happiness and change for high-achieving professionals who are ready to bounce back from burnout. I'm your host, Dr. G. Today, we're talking to Madonna Hanna. Madonna is a motivational speaker, freelance writer, author, actress, and competitive amateur sprinter. Madonna was selected as the National Senior Games Association Athlete of the Month for January 2020. She presently writes a monthly article for the Senior Scene publication in Pierce County, Washington State, chronicling her journey to the Senior Games. Madonna is a retired fashion marketing educator who has received over 30 teaching awards and recognitions. During the podcast, we talk about what it's like to be an athlete in midlife and how to get started, how a download from the universe can change the trajectory of your life, how coaching in anything closes the gap, and stay to the end for motivation to get started on whatever your dream is. At the end of the episode, visit launchyourlifepodcast.com, where you can find the show notes, plus the links to the books and resources mentioned in the episode. Every day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I post on LinkedIn. Follow me there. Just search Dr. Michelle Gordon to get actionable life launching tips. And when you're ready to create change in your life, reach out to me on LinkedIn or by email, drg@drgordon.me, DRG. I'm happy to talk to you and find out if you're a fit for one of our life-changing programs. Thanks for launching your life with me. Now, let's get to Madonna. Donna, welcome to the Launch Your Life podcast. I am so excited to have you here because you actually, pretty much launch your life. And I want to hear all about it. And you're a competitive sprinter. And let's just start there. Like how, first of all, how old are you? When did you start doing this competitive sprinting? And how did you kind of get?
Well, Dr. G, I'm glad to be here, and you're brave enough to ask a woman, girl, how old are you?
Oh, I know. Right? I have to ask that because this is for older women. I'm 57 today, so
Okay,
if you don't want to say, then that's fine. Thank you. Well, not today, but it's just this is where I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is where. Yeah. Well, right now, I am 68 years old.
I would never believe that.
Oh, thank you. And I started sprinting at the age of 57. So for all your listeners, I was not an athlete in high school. Now, I will say that at the age of 7, I did watch the Olympics, and especially track and field. And after watching, I would go outside and play 100-yard dash. And of course, I would win, the gold medal for the United States. But that's when I was 7. And who the heck knew that 50 years later, I would have this overwhelming feeling. And that's what it was. It was an overwhelming feeling that said, run 100 meters. What? At the time, I was teaching fashion marketing to high schoolers, and Dr. G, the feeling was so overwhelming that I had to do something about it. Told my husband, who actually had track and field experience, high school, college, and he was a high school track coach. And he said, okay. He was real old school. and that's important that I say that. I had backpacks, a backpack with 5 pounds of bricks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, going down the hardware store. I need bricks.
Oh my gosh.
And also ankle weights. And here I was jogging, just jogging everywhere. And wouldn't you know it, when I entered the 2011 Washington State Senior Games, I won the 50 and the 100 meter races.
Wow.
Because I figured all I have to do is run as fast as I can in a straight line. And I'm doing this on a whim. People are excited, oh, you should do this again and compete at nationals.
Yeah, you should.
I'm like, nationals? What? What is this? I just did this on a whim. But sometimes, and I think as women, sometimes when somebody says, oh, wow, you should do that. Go compete over here. It's like, do what? Me? No. Whereas men right away would go, oh, sure, let's go.
Oh, this is such a great opportunity to talk about the patriarchy.
Yeah,
Almost every podcast I talk about the patriarchy and how women are really, I guess the best word is subjugated. And it's not, I don't think it's on purpose. I really do think now that it's just because that's the way things have always been. And we're raised from little girls to serve. And men are not. Boys are not. And so I think it's really important that we start to instill in our children, our grandchildren, that they can do anything and they don't have to serve. And that's, I think if we do nothing else with the next generation, if we teach the women that they don't have to serve, then I think that we can have them come up and hopefully we can start to move away from a patriarchy and move towards something that's a little bit more egalitarian.
Sure. And, when I look back on my mindset at that time and have thought through it, just like you said, it's like, oh, wow, you're good at this. Compete again so you can go to nationals. And like I just said, men are like, yeah, and I'm like, what? I just did this on the whim. Am I good enough to go to nationals? Because everybody's like, yeah, you can do it. Like, well, I don't know. But anyway.
Wait, didn't you qualify by winning? Didn't you qualify for nationals by winning the Washington State?
Not at that time. It wasn't a qualifying year.
Okay.
So I competed the following year. And yes, I made it to my first nationals, which was in Cleveland, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
My husband and I went to this extraordinary event where there were probably about 10,000 participants between the ages of 50 and 100 plus.
Wow.
Excuse me, participating in about maybe 20 different sports. And this was just a new thing to my husband and I. And we're like, wow, look at all these really fit people who are like 80 and 90 and 100 years old. There's archery and there's, of course, I'm track and field, but basketball and just, it's really an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, something real quick that happened there. I ran my race and I came in 9th. This is my first time out. I'm coming in 9th, so I'm just out of the money to get into the finals. But there was a 4x100 team that needed a fourth.
Yeah.
So I volunteer. Now, mind you, I've never done this before.
Oh, you've never passed a baton or anything?
No. Well, Dr. G, I said, I don't have any track and field info. At 57, the voice is saying, run 100 meters, build an arc,
Yeah, exactly,
build a field so they can come play. So I can run fast. And wouldn't you know, we had 15 minutes. It was like, okay, you go check in and you'll be racing in 15 minutes. Well, I meet the three ladies who are like world-class athletes, and they're deciding who's going to run what leg. And I
Yeah.
said, what leg do you want to run? And I've never done this before. Now the clock's ticking, and these are very aggressive women, and it's like,
Yeah.
but anyway, one woman did take me aside because she had to, and she taught me what to do in less than 15 minutes. In
Wow.
less than 15 minutes, if you can imagine learning the strategy. You have the baton, where you pass it off. Don't step on the line, but stay close to the line. And okay,
Yeah.
so we did this. It's time to go. I'm the first leg because I'm only going to hand the baton off once. And I realize I have to run a curve. All I do is run in a straight line. But hey, it's too late. And so anyway, I do what I'm supposed to do. My team comes in third. We get a bronze medal.
That's great.
Yes. But the most extraordinary thing, Dr. G, was that when I was on the podium with my team, and when I got my medal, the first place team, they were not only first place, they had broken a world record.
Wow.
They start chanting, "Good job, Madonna. Good job, Madonna." And I'm like, what? So I'm thinking, Dr. G, the word got around that there's this woman who's on a team, who volunteered to be on a team, who doesn't know up from down, and they have to teach her really quick, right? Because why else would these women be, chanting, "Good job, Madonna"? So anyway, the entire stadium picks up the chant. And there was a man standing next to my husband who jabs him in the side and says, "Come on, say 'Good job, Madonna.'" And my husband's stunned. He's, and I just thought that was such a gracious moment, because sometimes women are notorious for not supporting each other, especially,
that's so true.
Aggressive women,
Yeah.
And here was this wonderful moment where these women, world-class athletes traveling around the world competing, who took this moment, to say, "You did a good job. You didn't know what the hell you were doing, but you helped your team to a bronze medal." And that was just a really,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, I think that there's so many opportunities here to talk about how getting out of your comfort zone and taking risks can really pay off. I think there's that. And then also the whole thing about everybody feels like an imposter at first, and you kind of have to push through it in order to maybe get to the next side. I mean, it's really hard to grow if you're still always comfortable, right? And that's even, this is a mindset podcast. And so the question I have for you is what was your biggest mindset shift that you had to go through in order to take the risk to try something that felt so foreign to you?
I'm glad that you used the word imposter. When that first time that I raced and everybody was, "Oh, do this, do that," and I continued to race, but I just didn't feel right inside. I didn't feel like I belonged, because the sprinters were all sitting around talking about, "Well, we raced here and we're reading this article there." And that wasn't me. And even though I was sitting with the sprinters, and even though I had my medals, I was like, I'm just running, And it wasn't until my second coach, my husband had coached me to my second national event, which would have been in 2019 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He went through 3 bouts of cancer and he passed away.
Oh, sorry.
And before he passed away, he said, "Keep running, but you need to build up your thighs." And, after everything had been settled, I realized, well, I need a coach so that I can finish the journey that my husband and I starting
Yeah.
of going to New Mexico to compete. And I was interviewing coaches, interviewed two boomers, and one boomer led me to the coach that I have now, a millennial. Now, when I retired from teaching, I was teaching millennials. And now
I love it.
I have a millennial coach. Uh, when he was introduced to me, when the person who was, who said, "Well, I'd love to coach you, I can't, but I've got a young man here who is an Olympic hopeful, went to Oregon, which is one of the best track colleges, multiple time NCAA champion type, multiple All-American, this, and this, all the way down the line." And I'm thinking, he's going to be my coach? You know how that doubt comes in again? Because
Yeah.
if it was a guy, it'd be, shoot, what?
Yeah.
You see how that
Yeah.
and I went, okay, all right. The thing that the two of us were both thinking, because this young man was told that we'd like you to coach this older lady, because right now he's coaching like high school kids and little kids while he's on his journey. And we found out we were both thinking basically the same thing. I'm thinking, this kid's a millennial. Is he going to take me seriously? And he's thinking, oh, this is an older lady. Is she going to take me seriously? But anyway, after he worked with me to get me ready for the games in New Mexico, I realized that torturous training that he put me through, because it was way different from my husband's training, I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't win, but I felt like running again afterwards. Where usually it's like, oh God, I don't want to run anywhere again after I race. And I thanked him and I said, I was feeling like an imposter, like I didn't belong. But now I can say I am a sprinter.
Yes.
And say it with confidence, because I now understand the process. I understand why he had me doing the things that he had me do. And I just, that was the shift of actually realizing, here I am, this is something I'm going to continue to do. And he was supposed to be like one and done, because coaching me was a favor, and now it's 3 years now.
So I think that's really great. But let me ask you a question. When you first started running, so back in maybe 2010, when you started sprinting, when you got this download from the universe that says start running, were you overweight?
No.
Okay, so you didn't have a weight problem. Were you an athlete? What did you do for exercise at the time?
I would jog.
Okay.
And
so you were already fit.
Yes, and I and I played tennis for a while, because my husband played tennis. He taught me how to play tennis, and I did that for a while till I was involved in a horrific vehicle accident, and then there was no more tennis. But no, but I didn't start running because of a weight thing or anything like that. It was, like you said, a download from the universe. Run 100 meters.
I love that. So tell me what's changed in your life since you started on this journey of world-class athlete sprinting, because that's what you are. I mean, you are, you're a world-class athlete. You won a bronze medal, and with world-class athletes, you are one of them.
What has specifically changed for me is my coach. The impact that my 27-year-old coach is having on me. Dr. G, I guess this is how the universe works. Run 100 meters, and I go through whatever I go through, and then I get to this coach who is elevating my progress to become a more proficient sprinter. I'm working out 5 days a week, 3 days on the track, 2 in the gym. I am using all sorts of contraptions
Of course.
to do this and to do that, and I'm lifting dumbbells, and I'm doing endurance work, speed work. I've got the guns. Women are stopping me and telling me that, oh, I would kill for your thighs. You know? I mean, oh, okay. I'm working out. And plus my diet has changed. Now, I've never been on a diet in my life, but because I'm training, I need fuel.
Yeah,
so I'm eating more carbs and proteins, and sometimes I am just so hungry. And it's, you know, because I'm burning off. I'm burning off calories and things. That has changed, and also my mindset has changed. Mm-hmm. I had a negative mindset when I first started working with my young coach, because what he had me doing was so drastically different from what my husband had me doing. And I was questioning myself, like, what have I gotten myself into? This kid has me doing all these drills and this and that. And then I thought, because I do have a corporate management background in marketing and some other areas too, I had to talk myself down and say, he is showing you the things that he learned. He's a world-class sprinter, Madonna. And this is how things are done. I know you were used to something else, but you got to get used to this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing. It's just, you know, getting out of your comfort zone in order to improve. And you know, as anyone who's a high achiever is always looking for ways to become better, right? This is what we do. I mean, you know, it's this constant never-ending improvement. I mean, how can I get a little bit better today over yesterday without comparing myself to how I was when I was 18, right? And that's exactly. I think the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge for us as older women, especially because how society starts to treat women. As we age, we start to get dismissed more, as if we're not important. Even though one thing I have to say is that, you know, even though I'm carrying around extra weight still, and you know, I'm one of those women who gained weight with a baby and just never was able to get all of it off. I mean, I got a lot of it off, and then menopause came, and I gained about 50 pounds, and I was able to get that off. But I still have a little extra weight. But what I do with this body now is I could never have done with my 18-year-old body. I mean, I can run 7 miles without stopping at 11 minutes per mile, which I think is really good. I'm not you. I'm not, you know, I mean, if I can't, I think my fastest 400 meters is like just under 2 minutes, right? So I'm not a super fast sprinter, but you know, I don't have to be world class. I just train. So I think it's so important for us to not compare ourselves to years and years ago, but just yesterday. And when you do that, it's a lot easier to move out of the comfort that we I don't know, we get stuck in the inertia of the couch sometimes, right?
I think so. And another point that you brought up about confidence. I realized that I have a lot of confidence in my field. Fashion, the marketing, retailing, management, all that sort of thing, and in vocational education. like you said, I'm out of my, this sprinting thing and becoming serious about it and realizing how serious my coach is about coaching me.
Yeah.
That's a different mindset, because when I compete nationally, especially in Albuquerque, I was upset with myself because there were so many athletes way older than me that were running 50 meters faster than me. At that time, I ran 50 meters in 9.3 seconds, which of course is fast.
That's
for
fast.
a person my age, and I'm in the middle of the pack nationally in this age group. And I wasn't looking at that at the time, that my coach had helped me to run a little faster, in a short time. I am still in the point where I am developing confidence in being the best amateur sprinter that I can be. And I've learned that we have confidence in different areas of our life. And what I was doing is like, well, I'm a confident person. Well, how come I can't do this? How come I can't run faster? How come,
Oh my gosh. You know what I tell the ladies in my programs is that anything worth doing is worth sucking at it first. And we, for some reason, seem to think that we have to be excellent at everything we start when we're adults. And it makes no sense. Babies are not born walking, right? They're not born talking. And
You're right.
It's so important that we have to be gentle with ourselves when we try something new, when we step outside our comfort zones. And the other thing I think is so poignant is that you used a coach to close the gap for you. Nothing in the world is new. There's always somebody who's done it before you. And what I love about coaching is that a coach can just like collapse the time. A coach can say, get you, and we tend to think of coaches solely really when it comes to sports. But there's coaches, like I'm a coach. I coach women and men to relaunch their lives, right? And
Sure.
what I love to do is help people go from here to there, and a lot faster than it took me. Because when you can take back your life and start to really create something that you love, it's magical. It's magical.
It is.
And that, for you, it was, it's almost like you started taking back your life through sport. And you got this whole new, like you're a professional athlete now,
I'm just not getting paid, but
Well, you can though. You got to write a book like Minerva. What's her name? Mirna Valerio. She had a blog called Fat Girl Running, and she's still fat and she still runs. But she wrote a book that was put on the Amazon first reads, and now she's a sponsor for all sorts of brands because fat girls run too. And she just took a bunch of her blog posts and put it into a book form, and it got published, and then she started getting some notoriety. And that's the thing about marketing. This, you got to get a little bit famous, and then once you get a little bit famous, then they'll start reaching out to you. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that you could partner with.
That's what I'm hoping to do down the road. The story that my coach and I have developed has been written up, and we were even on NPR, All Things Considered.
That's great.
I can send that interview to you. And we do have a story, because here's a young man in his prime who's reaching for an Olympic dream. He still is. He participated in 2 Olympic trials. Didn't make the U.S. team. clock's ticking on him because he
Yeah.
is 27, and he's looking at, the next Olympics, I believe, would be 2024 if things are
Yeah.
back on track. And here he is. He just took me on as a favor, this older woman, and now he continues to coach me. And there's that story in there. It started off, he's helping a widow, and now that has evolved into, okay, this is not a whim. I got to a point, and it was, in fact, during another interview that I did, where the host said, Madonna, this is not a whim anymore. I mean, you're out there, you're training, you're doing this and that. This is your life now, and bing, this is my life and my lifestyle now. And after my Washington State race last year, 2021, which was on the same day that my coach thought he was going to be in Japan, we spoke afterwards, and just listening to his commitment to me about what we are going to do in the future, some things that he noticed that I didn't do when we were prepping for the race. And I thought, wow, this kid is really noticing things. He's getting into this coach thing, because, and in fact, I did say to him earlier in that week, you're not an assistant coach. Now, you are my coach, which makes you the head coach, and you are responsible for me. And for a young man, especially a young African-American male who, coming out of high school, coming out of college, oh, he's everything, he's wonderful, he's won everything, and how that can go to the head, the ego kind of thing. Because, as you know, athletes are very much into themselves, and now he's got a person to be responsible for when we go to track meets. You're the guy. You're the coach. And it was like a realization to him that, I have to step out of being the athlete, and I'm in charge. As he will be when we go to nationals. He will be there. He's going to take a week off his outdoor season, and he's the guy when we show up in Fort Lauderdale. Yes, he's responsible. I'm not doing any thinking, because the only thing I'm thinking about is running in a straight line as fast as I can. He will take care of all the details of this and that. But
that's so nice, though, to have somebody who will do that for you. I just think that's great. So what I want to know is, like, let's say that I'm somebody who I've been thinking for a while about, I've gotten a download exercise, but I'm stuck in the couch. So how does somebody become a midlife athlete without changing everything all at once? Because oftentimes changing everything all at once is a recipe for failure.
As far as becoming an athlete, a midlife athlete, my route is obviously way different. I would suggest that if you played a sport when you were younger, then you might want to revisit that sport because it's a sport that you are familiar with. But before you do that, see a doctor, get a checkup, let the doctor know, well, yes, I've been sitting on the couch for a while, and I'm thinking about playing basketball again, because I played in high school, played in college. That was 30 years ago. Yeah. And of course, the mindset is, I can still get out there like I did 30 years ago, but no. You have to be a realist. Sit down, talk to your doctor. Talk to people who are already on an adult basketball team, baseball, whatever you want to play. Talk to the players, find out about the commitment, find out what you need to do to get in shape, because you just don't get up and start doing things. Even if you want to run, you need to stretch, you need to limber up. And as you had mentioned before, you need to take baby steps to do what you want to do, because you just don't get up and do things, and then that's how people get hurt.
Like you think about weekend warrior syndrome, and you go out and work out really hard on the weekend, and then during the week you're not doing anything, and it's just not enough movement.
No, because you need to do things gradually. And as well as I do that sometimes when people get excited, yes, I'm going to walk, I'm going to run, and then I go do it, and then now I'm hurt and stiff, and now I don't want to do it anymore because it hurts. And it's because, you need to get into it gradually.
Yeah, it's true. It's and I always like to tell people that the best exercise is one you'll do. It's it's just I had the hardest when I got back into exercise. I would say that was about 2014 is when I started exercising again, really pretty regularly. And I had to fight with myself to do it, because I had this mindset that exercise was punishment. I don't know where that came from. And so I had to change my mindset, and it became something more along the lines of, what can I do with this body? And so I had to get really curious about it in order to make myself do things. And if you exercise twice a week, I mean that's good, but also it's going to be hard to see results if you're only doing it twice a week. You want to consistency is the thing that wins the game for everything.
Yes. Yeah. There is power in consistency.
Yeah.
And sometimes excuse me, people think that, I'm going to go and I'm going to lift weights, and boom, the muscles are going to be there. Everything takes time. And even as I mentioned before, women might stop me and say, "What? You have killer thighs." Or, "Wow, you've got guns."
Yeah.
I'm looking at them like, "What?" Because I'm really not noticing, because I'm in the process of doing I'm taking all these little steps, struggling through, trying to do what the coach is telling me to do. And like I said, I had to change my mindset, that at first it does seem like punishment. I don't know where this thing about exercise is punishment, especially for women, because men are there, I'll do it, push-ups, they're challenging each other to push-ups. I can do 100 push-ups, off they go. Women don't do that. Women don't say, let's do sit-ups. Come on, Dr. G, you and I can do it. It's on. Let's do 50 push-ups. Okay, now let's do 25. Women don't do that kind of thing. And so when you said it's like punishment. Yeah. No, you change your mindset to, okay, this is going to be good for me. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to look better. I'm going to have more energy. I am going to be able to, I'm going to be agile and flexible, because we know that as we age, oh goodness, we don't want to fall down and break a hip.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah. No, we want to be able to reach for something, and we want to be able to sit down in a chair, and we want to be able to get up again without assistance, But I'm just glad that you said you changed your mindset, and hopefully I can help you to change your mindset because I had to change mine. Every darn thing that I have to do now, I'm saying, yay, I get to do this.
So that's so important. That oftentimes we look at things that we have to do in life and we say, oh, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. And what I tell the women who are in my menopause program is like, menopause is not this horrible thing. And yeah, it's disruptive. But if you didn't have menopause, you'd probably be dead because everyone goes through it. The privilege of a long life. And when you change your mindset to that, then it's like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. And it's just, just that little teeny mindset shift can actually really make a huge difference. And I think that's where things really, it's just really important for us to pay attention, because this is how you get out of burnout. This is how you move forward in your life, especially when you feel stuck. And it's action. And that's exactly what you did. You get this download from the universe and you started taking action. You weren't sure of where things were going to go, but the universe said, run. And that's if you take nothing else from this podcast, it is that action will bring you clarity because it's going to get you closer to the process. It doesn't matter about the outcome. You just want to get closer to following the process. And as what's happened with Madonna, she's got now this coach who's making her faster. And I don't know about the people who are listening, but getting faster at a 50-meter run is hard. I mean, you're talking about fractions of seconds. And if you're able to, cut off half a second in a year, that's amazing.
Oh, yes. Yes, which he has gotten me to do in the 50 and in the 100. I took off, he helped me take off 1 second and change.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my goodness. And
what's your fastest 100? Like 25?
My fastest 100 would be, I just happen to have it right
here. Oh, awesome.
Okay. My fastest 100 would be like 16.
Wow.
16 something.
Okay, wait a minute. Your fastest 50 is, you said it was like 9 something?
Okay. My fastest 50 meter, which was in 2011, was 8.91.
Damn. You're fast.
And my fastest 100 meter was in 2013. It was 1682.
Wow.
And
50,
now in between, I severely ruptured my Achilles in 2014 racing. And so I took 2 years off. So I'm coming back because the surgeon said I was not going to have my explosive speed anymore and I would not be able to run again. And I said, and in 2017, I said, let me try this again. And I won 50 meters, 9.8, and the 100 meters, 17.9. And that's after rehabbing after a severely ruptured Achilles.
Yeah, he's so funny, because I have a medical background, so I think about ruptured Achilles comes from, like Levaquin and that sort of thing. And so I always want to ask people if they have a ruptured Achilles, if they had been taking any antibiotics because of my medical background.
No, I hadn't been taking anything.
So you just had an overuse injury. But that's really a tough one to come back from. And the other thing, when you have an injury like that and you've got to take time off, I was running a lot and I had a pretty bad foot injury, like a Morton's neuroma from the wrong kinds of shoes. And I didn't run for, I don't know, maybe 8 months or something. And going back was hard. It's hard to get back into shape after you haven't done it for a while. It's a matter of like saying, yeah, I can. And then you get afraid that you're going to hurt or fall down or, that's like on the bicycle, and like I'm afraid of cars and, all those things. And so you really gotta trick your mind into saying it's okay. We're going to do something dangerous, but we're going to be okay.
Yes. And the surgeon also said, well, because of your age, because I might have been, I don't know, the math, I was in my early 60s then. And he said, well, your age. And he was actually upset with me because he said that the MRI didn't show all the damage. How you doctors, you go in surgery like, and it was it was more severe, and plus I have small calves, so he didn't have that much room to work in, and it was more severe, and but going through rehab, there was a time when I could not lift my left foot at all. There's no lift, and in fact I have very little lift, but when I'm running, you can't tell unless you're looking really close and you see that I am planting my left foot, and my right foot, of course, has the lift. So I'm moving so fast that when my left foot plants, it's got to get back up again. It's not lifting. It's just, just getting back
It's
up.
momentum. Yeah.
Yes. And so
that's great.
My young coach is managing that too.
Yeah, well, that's good though. I mean, working around injuries is, it's just, I think life happens, right? And it's our job. It's our job to decide whether it's gonna, something in life is gonna bring us down, or whether we're gonna, move forward and move through it and continue with excellence. So was there anything else you were hoping to share with the audience today that we didn't get to?
My advice would be, especially for women, don't feel guilty about being wonderful. Don't feel guilty about the God-given talents that you have, because what you have was given to you so that you can share, so that you can motivate, empower, and inspire others. And when you hold all of this back, you are depriving people of what they needed to get from you so that they can move forward. Just like you were talking about what we need to tell girls, what we need to tell our children now, how we need to inspire them and motivate them so that they can go out into the world and motivate and inspire people. Yes. And so I just want your listeners to know, don't ever feel guilty about being wonderful. Don't ever feel guilty about having your talents, because you've got to share them, and don't deprive people.
Oh, the world needs your voice. That's for sure. The world needs your voice. Well, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram, Madonna Fit, Fast, and Fabulous.
I love it.
Facebook, Madonna B as in boy, Hanna. My website, dropkickthedrama.com. And they can, that comes from teaching other people's kids, and I tell them, drop kick the drama, kid. And my email address is madfashion2001@yahoo.com. They can contact me. They can hire me to speak. I speak to seniors about motivating, getting up and being motivated, and also to kids who have been bullied. Oh, yes.
I think listen, this has been such a great conversation, and I think the biggest take home for me is that it's never too late. And as somebody who completely shifted careers late in life, it's never too late. So, Madonna, thanks so much for being a part of the Launch Your Life podcast today. And I can't wait to talk to you again. I want to have you back after your next nationals.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah. And I'm so glad that you've got a track and field background too, Dr. G.
Well, just a little.